So we're going to talk about visual scripting today, and I've made a couple of videos about visual scripting. So we're going to talk specifically more about what it is, and we're going to be using Playmaker, which is of course a Unity asset. And let's start it out. So I'm gonna show you how to take a very basic concept, do it in visual scripting, and also a couple tips on how to plan out visual scripting. And it's just as simple as this. So we're gonna be right in here with our Rosie the Riveter file. We got our Rosie's walking. Let's see if I can give that a play for you really quick just to show you. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put my timeline here. So if you're inside of Unity, which is everyone's going to be using Unity for the workshop, and it is free. Everyone keeps saying, "What is it really free?" Yes, it's free. We're going to be doing it free for you. And it is a 3-day session, so you can join us for all 3 days, which will have different components of the game that we'll be working on, or you can just join us for a couple days or 1 day. So let's play that. I'm just going to play that. So there's the scene view, which is on our left side, and there's the game view on this side, which is where we set up our cameras and whatnot. I'm just going to follow them around here. So I'm just backing up with my actual camera inside my scene view right now, and of course I'm looking at my game view over here. Let's just rewind. I can just rewind that and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get a very basic visual scripting here. And the idea is that you get a better understanding. Hopefully you walk away and understand exactly what this is. So let's go ahead. I already made an empty object. To make an empty object, you would just go to your hierarchy and just say create empty object. I'll have to make a new one for you guys. I'll just say code, understanding. I'll just say visual scripting. Visual scripting. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Add FSM. It's the first thing you're going to do because you're using Playmaker. You're going to add FSM. I already have the Playmaker window open. If you were to open that, go backwards. Playmaker editor. I'm going to do that again. I like to repeat it so you understand the repetition of some of these things because you have to do these over and over. So let's go back. Playmaker again at the top. Playmaker window always be at the top. Playmaker editor. That's what this big gray window is here. So let's start out. Let's say that we want our characters to move. So I'm going to just show you exactly how I would do that. I'm not going to put any actual code in it until I'm done with laying it out. So this is the difference between visual scripting because it helps you plan visually, right? So let's go movement. I'm going to say idle. So she's going to start at an idle. I'm going to go ahead and set a color. You can right click and set a color real easy in Playmaker. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, okay, what kind of movement is she going to do? So I'm writing my story here, right? She's going to walk right here. So she's going to walk. That's great. She's going to run right here. All right. Just like that. And then let's just say right here she's going to conversation. So we can say that better. Talk. The other thing about doing visual scripting, it allows you to play with words that allow you to kind of create this rhythm. So instead of saying walk, run, talk, you can actually do walk, and then you can say walk, let's say walk fast, and then we'll say here, we'll say walk slow. Alright, and then we'll go run, and then we'll say run, we'll say run fast, and then we'll do another one, and we'll just say jog. Now, inside of visual scripting and inside of this code, if you see, I can zoom in any more than that, but if I move it around here, you have 4 different characteristics that we've added, well 5 actually, that we've added to our character. And in this point, this is where I'm using critical thinking to bounce ideas. This is the main part of visual scripting. Before we actually get to coding your game, this is laying out your code. So right here, you already know your character is going to go from idle, and they're going to go to walk slow or walk fast, and they're going to go either run fast or jog. So in our case, let's go ahead and activate that type of code. So we're going to keep this real simple so you can understand it. So we're going to go from idle. You can see idle has nothing in it. So I'm going to take a character, and I'm going to show you how to apply animation right here, right in front of your eyes, inside of Unity. Let's take, maybe Rose is good. Yeah, let's take Rose. I'm going to get rid of this. You saw what I just did here on the timeline. Just press this unlock button here, and this unlock button is actually going to allow allow me to move on to another timeline or build another timeline. So I'm going to take Rose here, and I'm going to make a walk for her. Like, I'm just going to basically make these moves for her. So when I do that, I'm going to actually select her parent, which I'm going to show you inside of the workshop. You're going to create empty object, okay? It's going to be the same thing I'm showing you in the workshop. A lot is just like rinse and repeat. So let's go TM. Let's just say walk right there. I'm going to leave it like that. And all I did was just create an empty group, and I just said TM walk. And we're going to have to go to TM run. Yes. And then right here, we're going to go, what do we got? We got jog. So let's just do a jog here. Let's do a jog. And I'm basically just making these empty groups, or empty objects, I should say, and they're going to respond with an animation. Not yet, though. So, right? So if I click on it and I open my timeline window, which I already have mine open, but if you wanted to open it, you would just go Window, and you would go down here to Sequences, or Sequencing, and just press timeline. Mine's already open. So I'm going to go to my TM walk. You can see here it says to begin a new timeline with TM walk, create a director component and a timeline asset. Now, this is what we call Unity's timeline system. That's what we're using. We're using their timeline animation system. I already got a folder set up. Mine's called TMS, just standing for timeline. Let's change the name of that. Looks like I have an animation there. I'm just going to say Rose, like that. Just showing you an example. Just make sure you always name your files very well. I'm going to just run through this with you guys, and then we'll go over like what are the real healthy habits of naming your files. So now that I have this timeline set up, I'm going to go ahead and just put, let's go ahead and put Rose Translate in there, because I'm not going to actually have her, I'll show you what I mean here. I'm not going to actually have her move because I want her to kind of stay in the same place. So if you can see my window here in my scene view, I'm just going to give her a little nudge. So if I give her a little nudge, it's going to make a keyframe there. That's all that does. That you press that red, it's going to be automatic keyframe. So anywhere I move her, she's going to move. So like there's that, and then I can do this, and obviously you see. So now she's animated. So let's do this. So Rose Translate, and let's lock that. We are locked already. And let's get her body here. Is go add animation track. So you're just going to drag it down to the timeline, add animation track. You're not going to press this record though. You could do that if you were doing it all from scratch, but there's no need to do a lot of things from scratch. It's a lot easier to take an asset and go from there. So let's just do a walk, because that is our walk, right? Alright, and we just did a walk, and if you're in your project window, you could just press animation clip here, and it'll just show you your animation clips that are actually walks. So let's actually go back and just go animation, walk in place, and we'll go for that. Okay, we'll go for that. So she's walking. So I'm just going to loop that. So you can see it's not looped. So what you have to do is you have to actually go to the empty group, and you can see it has play on awake. You definitely don't want that, and you want to loop it. Okay, so let's just play that. That's going to loop now. Now, that's great, but that doesn't do anything for us. Okay. Now what you have to do is inside of here, I'm going to put that one into walk slow. So you can see there is nothing here. You have these 4 tabs on the right side: FSM, state, events, and variables. I'm going to go to state. That's your main tab. You're always going to be in there. I'm going to press action browser. You're going to see this is going to pop up, my action browser. I'm just going to place that over here so it's not in the way. And this has all of your actions, or all of your code actions, if you will, that you're gonna be using. Okay. Now, thing about it is there's so many different things you can do with this, with these numbers inside of here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say play timeline. I'm gonna do something really simple. This is gonna play a timeline. Let's go to specify object. Let's actually go to this idle. You can see it's not a timeline, so it's not gonna do anything for us. So I'm just gonna quickly save that timeline here. I'm just going to call this Z, and then I will go ahead and just drag that in there. So that's going to play idle. Okay, there's no idle there yet, but we're about to put an idle, and it's going to be real quick. So let's say one right there, and we're just going to look up an idle, and all I did was just drag her body down into the timeline once again, and then we're going to go look for an idle. Let's see, and if you actually select the animation, you can see there's actually an idle jog right there. So I'm going to go steal that jog. right there. So let's actually go ahead and just create it. So I'm creating another timeline again. Once again, see, same thing over and over. And there's many ways to do this. We can also be using the mechanism system, which I will teach a little bit about inside of the workshop. Firewatch and things like that used it pretty significantly. So there was a jog down here. Let's see if we can find it again. So I'm looking to my right here, if you can see that, and let me find the jog. So let me just look up jog again, and I see it. There's an idle jog and there's a jog in place. So let's get her body in there, and this is you have to use the body to actually animate it. And let's see her jog there. So that's a little short jog. And that's great. That's fine for now. You don't have to be perfect. I'll show you how to actually customize these animations and make them your own in the workshop. But for now, this is good for our example. So now that we have that, remember, we do not want it to play on a wait. We want it to loop, though, because it's a jog. So let's go ahead and play that back. We can also control the speed there. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit to maybe 2. Make it a little faster jog. That's too fast. So let's try 1.2 or 1.2. Try that. That's cool. All right. So now let's go into this jog. Let's play it. So play timeline. And then we're just going to go specify object. And then we're going to say TM jog right there. All right. We got a run here. We're going to make sure that's inside of run fast. We'll just play that. Play timeline. And we'll just say run fast or just run here. That's fine. We'll get rid of, well, we do not have a run. So let's go ahead and make that a timeline, right? So just create timeline once again. Again, you're just repeating what you did before. You're just making another move or another action, right? So now we're going to go to run. See if we can find a really good run for her. It's maybe this guy. No. I want to get like a more realistic kind of run for her. So let's see if there's a run loop down here. There's a run loop right there. Okay. Let's try that. So let's put that run in. So that's going to run. I don't want it to move. Right now, I do not want it to move. So for now, I am going to lock her translate. Just because, again, I'm just showing you, I want you to see how this works. Once you start adding like translation, these kind of things, it gets a little bit more, it's different. It may even be a little confusing. So I want to walk you through that inside of the workshop. It will make a lot more sense. So now let's do that. And she should, let me press space bar. She should just run there. So let's run again. Yep, so all good. So if I play that, again, it's not looping. So make sure you go back, go to play on awake, and go loop. We're going to loop that. Fantastic. So we have an idle. Do we have an idle? We do not have an idle. So let's get an idle there and go to maybe, let's see, and let's go to animation clip. And you're going to see an idle here. This is good. That's good for now. Okay? And we'll do the same thing. Make sure it's not on play on wake and make sure you are looping that. Now, once I go into that, I'm just going to go here. I'm going to put another play timeline. We're going to put that. We'll get rid of walk fast for now. We'll just do walk slow. Let's make sure we have a walk in there. We do have a walk. So we'll go walk slow. And then we'll take that, put that there. We'll come into idle, and we want to do a stop timeline. Show you a little trick. It's very simple. Just showing you basic. This is how you get a character moving basically. You can do, again, you can use the mechanism system, but for now, I'm showing you visual scripting inside of a Playmaker. So let's do a stop timeline. So when I get to this idle, I basically want to stop a bunch of stuff. I want to stop the TM walk from going because it's looping. I want to stop the TM run. And also I want to stop the TM jog. Okay? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set a weight here. Let's do a random weight to be this be more interesting if I do a random weight. So I just went to my action browser, which is already open, and I just set, I'm going to set a random weight. So I'm going to do 3 to 6 seconds. Once it's finished, I'm going to go to custom block, and I'm just going to actually do block 1 for now. I'll show you how to do that in the workshop, and we'll go back to idle. Okay, we'll do the same thing here. And this random wait action, all it's going to do is it's going to go from 3 to 6 seconds, and it's going to return back to this idle basically. And of course, you can move these around as much as you want. You can also change the color if you would like to do that too, like change the color of the actual blocks. So all those are going to go back to idle. All right. Now, in my case, I'm going to actually use a key press. So get any key, get key down. Okay, so I'm going to get a key down. Let's try doing some letters. So let's go down. So all I did was I said get key down inside of my actions, and now all I'm doing is looking for actual numbers or impressions inside of your keyboard. So I'm going to just press the A key, right? So the A key is going to go to, we'll actually put a new event. We'll just say the A key is going to go run. So that's going to go here, okay? Yes, and then we'll put another one. We're just duplicating at this point. Copy, Control C, and Control V. And let's see, let's do S as another key. S is going to go to, see, this is a long list, so you gotta wait a little bit to get down there. So S is gonna go straight to, let's say, jog, yes? So we'll go new event, and we'll go jog. It's gonna go down here, okay? And we have one more to fill out, and that's the walk. So let's go. We got S for jog, A for run, and this one, I'm just customizing this to the keyboard. You could do this, of course, to anything else, to a controller. I do it to a controller all the time, but this is just for a keyboard, okay, to simplify it. Let's do D. Actually, I want to actually say walk, so that's a new event, and we'll make sure that's done with the D key. Which, let's try it. I just tried to press the letter. Usually you press the letter, it'll let you go down a little faster, but that's as fast as we're going, guys. Sometimes it goes slow. You got to be patient. All right. So now I have this recipe here. So idle, it's going to stay at idle until I press any of these keys. Once it goes to walk, it's going to wait 3 to 6 seconds and return back to idle. Once it goes to here, it's going to wait 3 to 6 seconds, jog. Once it goes to run fast, and so on. So let's try to play this. Let me make sure she doesn't have a animation on, and I will double check that none of those are planned, which is great. Okay, and make sure none of these are on. Great. All right, here we go. So we don't need to look at the game view for that. Let's just open up our visual scripting. I'm going to back up a little bit. And one of the things we'll be doing is when you're actually doing visual scripting, you have to always watch out for errors and these kind of things, but you have to understand when to handle errors, when to do it. So we're playing this right now. See what happens. So it's going to take a second. All right, it's going to play. Let me make sure that we're on the code. You should be able to see this. So let's go ahead and lock that. So right now you are on idle, okay? Now we just did this. I don't know how long that was, maybe 10, 11 minutes. It wasn't long. And you can see how you get really complex. So like I said, we have A that goes to run. So it should go to run once I press A. So I'm going to press the A key. And make sure I'm on my game view. So that's going to go run, right? Now remember, it's going to wait 3 to 6 seconds, right? And it should return to, yes, to idle. So now it's back to idle. The trick that we did there was that we were able to substantially create movement inside of the game. So now let's press another button. Let's see, maybe S, yes. So again, the newer Unity, you have to actually activate your game window. So if you don't see yours moving, it's because your game window is not activated. So I'm going to press S, which is going to send her to jog. And again, it's going to wait 3 to 6 seconds. You can see inside of Playmaker, you see this little green bar moving to represent that. And that's going to go back to idle. And we have one more. Let's just test walk. which is the D key. So she's going to walk. Yes. And then she's going to go back to idle and present. There she goes. So this gives you an idea of what visual scripting is. It is this idea of coding that is visual, that makes things a lot simpler. And once your approach is right, and once you have these ideas, you can pretty much create whatever you want, all the way from the beginning to the end of your